So how do you become a better version of yourself? What are the ways, the steps? That's what I want to talk about today on my YouTube channel. So welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Toluwakemi. In case this is your first time of seeing me, welcome. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the like button if you love this video. And let's just get into the conversation. I'm currently filming this March 2nd, 2023, and the 1st of March I wrote something on my WhatsApp status. I asked a question. I have this community for singles, and I asked this question. I said, what would you like to become by come March 31st, 2023? What would you like to become? So that is given 30 days, given a minimum of 30 days. What would you like to become? And a lot of people were coming to my DM to say this, to say that, and they were amazing stuff. I'm not going to lie, they were amazing stuff. And then I just felt like, oh my god, how are you guys going to do this? Somebody even listed up to like 7 things. Someone said just 1 thing. Another person said like 3 things. Another person said like 4 things. And that was crazy for me. And then I remember that all through 2022, this question was the question I kept asking myself every month. And I loved how I evolved every month in the year 2022, that even I myself, I couldn't keep up with my growth. Like, I was growing rapidly, and I was growing so much that by the time it was the end of the year, I couldn't explain my growth with words. All I could say was God was faithful. I'm a Christian, and that was all I could say. So it just got me thinking that, okay, let's resume this kind of mindset, because this year what I do is I grow every day. I saw how well I did last year, 2022. So I told myself this year is going to be an everyday thing. So I tell myself every morning, who do I want to become at the end of today? So I literally wake up every day a different version of the person that slept. A different version of the person that, I slept every day, a different version of the person that woke up. So asking that question, asking my WhatsApp community that question, like, took me back. And then I said, okay, what helped me? How did I do it? How was I able to make this happen? And I was able to sit down. I came up with, I think, 5 points. Yes, I came up with 5 points. And I'm going to be dishing those 5 points to you. And I hope that as you take these points, I hope they help you. I hope by the end of the month, the things you said you would love to be are the things you actually become. Because you have to understand that there's a difference between possibilities, that there's a difference between reality. But from your possibility, you can bring things into reality. But it doesn't just come because you say it or because you think it is possible. It actually comes into reality as a result of hard work, consistency, intentionality, responsibility, and among other stuffs. Do you understand? So let me just try break this down for you, one step at a time. Now, I want you to do me a favor. At the end of this video, I want you to drop a comment. I want you to make sure you drop a comment. That's how I'm going to know you watched this video. I want you to drop a comment, and please like this video, and also please subscribe to this channel. All right, so let's go. So the first thing I wrote here is, I wrote something. I said who you are now versus who you want to become. So it's just like the way we do it in Nigeria, that we say what we ordered versus what we got. So what do you want? What will you love to order, and what will you eventually get at the end of the month? Now, the first thing you have to understand is that the picture you paint in your head, the picture you paint in your mind, that person that you see, that person that you think about, that person that you envisioned is possible. That is the first thing that you have to understand, that person is possible. For some people, they just write things down. They're just like, they just envision all this thing. At the end of the day, they'll be like, everything is just dream. It doesn't have to. Stop it. You have to understand that everything that you just thought about is possible. Will it come just because you thought about them? No. That's why I say it takes a lot. It takes hard work. It takes consistency. It takes commitment. It takes intentionality, and it takes responsibility. I wish I had my pen here. I didn't even list out all these things, but let's keep going. Trust the Spirit of God to just remind me. Okay, so that's the first thing that I'm going to tell you, that the picture that you have in your mind, in your head, is possible. Because one of the things that my mentor, or let me say my coach, my life coach, which is DDK, if you know me, you know I love DDK a lot. One of the things she said about vision is the picture of the future that you are willing to behold and you are committed to becoming. All right, so that was not how she said this, but that was me just paraphrasing it the way I understand it. Well, you can go back to hear the definition again, because I don't think I can give the exact definition again. All right, so okay, you're back. You've gone to check it. Okay, you're back. So let's continue. So that is what vision is, because you have to be able to understand that vision is that future self that you see, and then not just seeing it, you are willing to now come back to the present and commit to everything that is needed to make that a reality. Do you understand me? So, and one of the things you have to understand, that it is possible. Don't think about it and then brush it out, because a lot of us in Nigeria, we have that mentality a lot. We have that victim mentality. We have it where you just think that there are some special people that make it in life. No, everybody has equal chances of surviving in life. I understand, yes, the way we grew up is different, our experiences are different, our this and that are different. I understand, I get it. But one of the things that is also hard to understand is that we all have something that is called choice. Everybody has a choice. You can decide that your life is going to come out great, or you can decide that your life is going to come out as something you are not proud of. Let's continue. Now, the second point I want to make is, because this thing is something that I've done with my life a lot. You know, when I remember then last year, whenever I think about it, that who can I become the end of this month, I list those things out and I say, okay, these things are possible. So how do I become like them? Which is going to take me to the second point. The first point is understanding that it is possible. Now, the second point is that you have to understand that all the things you listed out are possible. The next question you need to ask yourself is, how do I make this possible? Now, there's a particular prayer I pray every time. I say, God, grant me the privilege to be able to behold a future, and also the patience to be able to be in my presence while building the future. Do you understand? So that prayer is something I pray for myself. It's something I pray for myself, right? Now, one of the things that you have to also realize, or you have to understand, is that now that you've seen who you can become in your mind and in your heart, you have to understand that it is possible as a result of the commitment you put into it, the work you put into it. Now, the next thing you have to understand is that, how do I make this possible? How? The question is how. For example, let's say in your mind you envision that I'm going to start a podcast. You say by March 31st, 2023, I want to have started my podcast. The next thing you do is you say it is possible. Now, the next thing is you now start seeing yourself as a podcaster. You now ask yourself, how do I become a podcaster? Then you sit down and see, the issue is a lot of us don't sit down. A lot of us don't sit down, and we are so guilty of it. We think, but we don't sit. See, as much as you think a lot, you also have to sit a lot. You have to sit down with your thoughts. You have to there's something I tell my coaching clients. You have to respect your thoughts. You have to respect the things you think about. And one of the ways to respect your thoughts is by writing things down. So when you've thought about it, the next thing is to say, how do I do this? Then you take a pen and you start writing. Trust me, ideas will come to you. The reason why you think ideas are not coming to you is because you're not sitting down and you're not respecting yourself. You don't value yourself. There's something I read in Justin Maxwell's book. It says, the easiest way to become a valuable person is to first be a valuable person to yourself. You can't give what you don't have. Acquire value to be a valuable person. That's why to be an accountant, you have to go to school to learn for 4 years to become an accountant. Do you get it? So you first have to put into yourself to be able to give. She gets me. Now, the next thing I want to say after this is that when you sit down with your pen and you start writing, one of the things you are going to write is, okay, I need to even say which website or which site can I host this my podcast. Then you start researching sites, you see things like Anchor, things like Google Podcast, things like Spotify Podcast. Do you see? The next thing you now do when you say how is, okay, then I need to record this podcast. Good. Then you start asking yourself, okay, I need topics that I'm going to record podcast on. Now, one of the things I want to tell you is that it's very, very good, or it's very, very, wisdom says that you sit down and come up with topics before you even start recording. Don't record topic 1 and start saying, I'll start looking for topic 2. No, that's not another mistake a lot of people make. Sit down and say, what topics will I love to film about? List out like 5 topics, like 4 topics, like 10 topics, depending on your activity level. By the time you list these things out, then you now start saying, like, okay, which one do I do first? Which one do I do second? Which one do I do third? Then you start going into things like, do I want to invite people into my podcast? Who are the kind of people I would love to invite into my podcast? Do you see? You have to be able to sit down. So this is what we actually call the creative process. Then when you start doing this, you're not saying, okay, what do I need to record? Do I just record with my phone? Do I record at night? Do I record in the morning, very early? So let's start discussing these things. Then you start saying, okay, once I finish recording, what am I going to use to edit my recordings? What exactly will I say in the podcast? Then you start scripting. Called scripting. So these things are not really hard. You just need to sit down. See, the difference between you and that person that you admire so much that is doing something that you love to do is planning, is sitting down. You to sit down with your thoughts. And by the time you do that, you say, oh, okay, how many days do I want to film? Do I want to film once a week, or do I want to film everything all at once? So you start asking yourself these questions. And by the time you get all these things done, you sit down to actually do the recording. Of course, it takes hard work. Of course, it takes commitment. Of course, it takes discipline. That's why I say, just thinking about it is not enough. You have to be able to put in the work. Do you get? So that is it. When you ask yourself how, see, before you say things like, I don't even know how to get started, ask yourself, how can I get started? Which takes me to the next point, which is now, when you start doing these things, now you start taking the steps you need, step by step. For example, this particular video I'm doing for you right now, how did I do it? How did I start? It's number 1. I told you, I first asked a question in my communities and on my WhatsApp status, who will you guys love to become? And by the time I wrote it, and I saw that I was getting DMs, the next thing I said is, Toluwakemi, can we record a video about this? Trust me, I already filmed like 4 videos for the month of March. I've not even started releasing them. I have at least 7 videos in my archive that are not even edited to even release out. But now, see me, because of demand, I'm currently filming this. So by the time I did that, the next thing I told myself is that, okay, when I did this for myself, how did I help? What steps did I take? So I put them down, I penned them down. Now the next thing for me to do is, I say, when am I going to film this? So I needed lights, I needed electricity, I needed fan and all those things. So I said, okay, and I discovered that NEPA has been giving us lights, right? Okay, so the next thing I did was, I said, I'm going to choose a day that there will be NEPA and I'll be able to film it. So I chose a spot that I'll be filming it, and I said, okay, today, I told myself, what do I need to do? What is that thing that my parents need me to do for them today? I discovered, okay, they needed me to help them go shopping. So I immediately went to do the shopping. And when I came back, I sat down here and I'm shooting this video. But after this video now, I'm going to shoot 2 other videos today. Now, one of the things I want you to realize and I want you to understand is that everything you see that inspire you takes hard work. Stop running away from hard work. Stop running away from the things that you are going to do. Stop running away from intentionality. You see, for example, now somebody messaged me sometimes, said, I would love to start a YouTube channel. The first question I asked the person, I said, okay, the person said, I would love to start a channel. I said, okay, I'm going to be going live on YouTube to teach this, join. The person was not able to join. I said, okay, no problem. So I said, watch the replay. The person said, okay, I will watch the replay. 2 days, 3 days, the person has not watched the replay. Then I asked the person a question: are you even ready to commit to starting this YouTube channel? See, when I say people start YouTube channels, I'm not always bothered, because the work is not actually in starting. The work is in staying, commitment. That is the work. By the grace of God, now we are in the 9th month of the year 2023, and every week I have been dropping videos. Every week of 2020 I've been dropping videos. Every week of 2020 I've been going live on Instagram. Every week of 2023 I've been reading at least 15 pages of books. Every week I've been listening to messages. At least this year I've listened to more than 35 messages this year. So it takes hard work for me to inspire you. I had to be inspired too. I had to put in something in me to inspire you. So I'm not saying, like, don't look at me like I don't put in the work. I put in the work. Whether you see it or not, I know I put in the work. Do you understand me? And that is one thing I want to do. I want to, as much as possible, normalize putting in the work. The fact that you are a Christian doesn't mean you're not going to put in the work. You are going to put in the work because you are even a Christian. Because you need to be able to give God something that you have to be able to give God a sacrifice that He can bless. Do you understand me? So after you've now done this, the gradual process you now put into it, the day 1, the day 2, day 15 of 20 of March, day 15, day 16, day 17, day 18, day 19. If you are able to do this, you will discover that everything you wrote, you actually became them at the end of the month. And that is how I did it all through 2022. Immediately I celebrated my birthday, May 11th. I told myself, I said, every month I want to always go for an event. And you won't believe it, ever since then, even if I don't look for event looks for me, and then I attend. Now, there's also that part of me to say, I'm not going to attend, I'm busy, I'm tired, I don't want to do this. But because I made a commitment to myself, I show up. Do you understand? So you need skills to be able to become, the skills you need to be able to become a better version of yourself. Number 1, you need intentionality. Don't only say it, be intentional about it. Be intentional about it, actually do it. Number 2, you need consistency. Now, I'm going to be doing a teaching by the grace of God in the month of April. It's called Consistency by Design. I want you to make sure that you are in that training. Make sure you are in that training. Make sure you are in that training. Now, the third thing you need to do is you need to actually show up. Don't just say it, actually show up. Another one is you might need a coach. You might need an accountability partner. And the reason why I said you might is because if you know you are somebody that struggles with things, with doing things, with making sure you take action, please stop waiting on yourself to push yourself. Pay somebody if you need to pay somebody. Get a coach. I have a coach. I have mentors. I have 2 mentors. I have 1 coach. And I had to pay some of them. And it is okay. You have to understand that it is okay. Whatever you can do, whatever money can help you to fast track, do it. Okay, so I hope that with all these tips that I've given you, I hope that by the time it is March 31st, 2023, or maybe you are listening to this in April, May, June, July, August, September, December, or maybe you are listening to this in 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, these tips, if you use them, you can every month become a better version of yourself. I'm telling you, I kid you not. I hope that with these few points of mine, I have been able to prove to you that it is possible to become a better version of yourself every month. Now, I remember, let me give you an example. I've even given you plenty of examples. I remember sometime in 2022, I told myself, I said, I would love to increase my fellowship with God and all those things and all those things. I wrote it down. And I told myself, one of the things I can actually do is what? I said, I can do a 21 days prayer challenge. And I did it in the month of August. And that was like one of the best decisions I ever made in 2022. And by the grace of God, I'm going to be repeating the same thing this year, August. I'm going to be doing another 21 days challenge. Because that prayer challenge I did opened me up that to understanding the decade, to understanding what the year is about, to understanding what my 2023 is going to be about. There would not have been singles and intentionally waiting if I didn't do that challenge in August. I'm telling you. Do you understand? I'm going to be doing the same thing by this year, August 2023, actually, by the grace of God. Do you understand? So these are the things, and one of the things I did was, as at then I said I wanted to increase my fellowship with God. You know, one of the things I did was I intentionally started showing up on Instagram every day, every morning. I was praying on Instagram. Now, a lot of people did not need to join me. In fact, I did not need anybody to join me. But I am so excited and I'm so glad for the fact that I showed up for myself and I'm simply reaping the fruit. Now, one of the things I love to say about obedience is not about today. Obedience is about the future. Obedience is a seed for the future. Do you get me? Alright, so I think I've said enough. Did you learn anything from this video? Please drop a comment. And if you have any question, drop the question also. Please subscribe to my channel, like my video, and I look forward to my next video. Thank you so much.